Ryan.
And this is
Bitch, Let's Talk.
So before we get started into Pop Tart World, I really want to say rest in peace to Stephon Clark. Unfortunately, he was an unarmed black man who was killed by the police. He was shot 20 times in his own backyard. And allegedly, the police felt that they were afraid because they thought he had a crowbar. I don't know how the hell you mistake an iPhone for a crowbar.
Wow.
What edition of an iPhone is that where it extends?
20 times, that's more than one person shooting.
I'm confused. And my thing is, even if, because they were saying that they were responding to someone breaking and entering into someone's windows, my thing is, you kill them? So when did theft turn into, I'm going to kill a person? And my thing is, you go through all this training, you go to the gun range, and you can easily just wound someone. You can easily just shoot someone in the foot and just bombard them because you have all those police officers. So you're telling me there's no other training, there's no other method but to shoot someone 20 fucking times. Like, that is overkill. That is absolutely ridiculous.
I think we need to take guns out, period. And I was talking with my friend, Justin, who's a detective. Well, he's working to become a detective.
Shout out to Justin.
Yeah, shout out to you, Justin. He and I were talking about like how, we can focus on, changing what guns actually do. Like instead of killing people, there's like stun guns, there's these like false bullets, there's like things that will disable a person motor skills versus killing them. So I think that's what we need to work, focus on how to, change that, because guns are really, really starting to become a real problem, not just in our law enforcement, but in our homes.
Absolutely. And I think it's sad that the people that are supposed to protect us are killing us, and it's just really, really sad. And I know that people have been protesting in Sacramento. They actually stopped the Sacramento Kings game from actually happening because they're really in the streets. But once again, I'm all about a good protest, but I'm also about change. And the only way that you can do change is hitting people pockets in politics. You got to get people in, your Senate, your delegates, it's not just Donald Trump.
Yeah.
He really doesn't govern, cities.
Right.
He looks at America. That's his responsibility. And I think a lot of people confuse that. So that's why you have to vote for your mayor. You have to vote for your governor. You have to understand what's going on in your district and see what these people really believe in, because those are the people who dictate change for your city, for your community. So it breaks my heart. He leaves 3 little kids behind. He was married, and, send my love and condolences to his family. So.
Can I interject really quickly?
Sure.
Because I also think it needs to change. But what I think needs to change the most is people's perceptions of African Americans. Because I think that's really what have been killing us, is because there's an ingrained fear in us, right? Because police officers are trained to use different levels of force, right? However, they're also trained that if someone is maybe, I think 7 feet away that they can use deadly force, right? Because the goal is to protect themselves. And I'm a teacher, middle school, right? But we had career day. Maybe about a week ago. And so the police officers came, and the kids had the same question, like, so how come you can't always use your stun gun, things like that. And they're like, well, we do this training when we go to, what is it, like, whatever they do when they train. The academy, thank you. Where if someone has a knife and say they're about 7 feet away, how quickly they can be up on you before you get your stun gun out. So if they're about 7 feet away, they're trained that they can use deadly force. However, it depends on their level of comfort in that situation. So when you have people who come into our communities to police our communities, who are not comfortable with us, who don't know us, and whose perception of us has been created by the things they see on TV, maybe the conversations they have within their own communities about their perceptions of us, and then they're coming into our communities to police us. There's already a fear there. So as soon as I come, it's like ingrained. They're not even thinking, go for the gun, shoot. You know what I mean? So I feel like that is one of the biggest things we have to tackle is being very vigilant about the perceptions of us that come across and really having conversations. Like my thing is where are we having these panels with white people and asking them, what's your problem? Excuse me, what's your problem? Like, let's have these conversations.
And it's very important because when the scenario is completely different, the narrative changes.
It does.
And so it really bothers me how we can say all these negative things about a black person. It doesn't necessarily have to be a man or a woman, just a person of color. And then when a white person does it, he's mentally ill, his mother didn't hug him, he didn't get enough snacks with his cereal. I just don't understand how, people are so confused about racism, how it works. This is a clear example of that.
But a extreme like psychoanalysis, like I think those are the things that they kind of need to bring into these kind of situations. I'm talking about in terms of like who we allow to police us, because
Absolutely.
if you might not know that you are racist, like you might not know you have internalized racism or stuff like that. So we need to kind of like, these are the people that are going to be out in our communities with weapons to do harm. We need to make sure that these people are absolutely okay. These people are seeing issues for what they are, instead of what a color, like what our race is, and having that prejudice and already aiming to like target somebody that is not doing anything wrong at all, or they could be doing something wrong. We don't need to murder them. You know what I mean? We need to.
The whole slogan is protect and serve.
Yeah.
So the first thing you've lost is the protection part of what you're supposed to stand for. The serving part is after that. And I think they really forget that the first thing that the police is supposed to stand for is protect. My grandfather, may he rest in peace, was a police officer, and his first thing was protect first. We can deal with the other shit later. I have to protect you from whatever it is, but I need to keep you alive. I need to keep you safe. And the fact that the excuse is, oh, I thought it was the crowbar. So even if he had a crowbar, how do you think that a crowbar can beat a bullet? I don't understand the logic in that. And once again, if you thought that someone's breaking into someone's car, that means like, oh my God, someone's breaking and entering. Let me kill him. Because even people who actually have gun privileges in their own home is not even allowed to kill someone who's actually robbing their house. So it's like, how does this work? So you're telling me that I can't even protect and serve my family, and this man was killed in his own backyard. That's, first of all, that's not a car. Allegedly they said, oh, we caught him in the act. I don't know how you break into someone's car in the backyard. Was it a junkyard?
That deserves an investigation, like completely.
Yeah,
like,
so allegedly the mayor is like completely outraged of this whole thing happening. So we'll see how this all plays out. But we all know how this story normally ends, which is really sad. But like I tell people all the time, you can march until your feet are no longer existent. If you do not change these laws, if you do not change these policies, and do you not see where this money is trailing to, so you can actually protest who is actually investing into our cities. Because when you cut the supply off, there's no demand. We are going to put you out of business. So if you can see where the money trail is, say, hey, this particular company, they're pro this, so we're going to stop using their product. Or, this delegate that's in place actually slid this law through, slid a bill through to allow police to do this to us. So we're going to get you out of office. That's real change. So you can sing and dance and walk the streets. I'm all for it. But if you don't change these laws and you don't vote for people, vote. Not until the presidential election. I'm talking about your local government. And this is just, it makes me so angry. It makes me so upset. Because when you think about all the other Black people that have died in the hands of the police, it just makes me really sad. And not every police officer is bad. I don't want people to think that I'm anti-police. I'm anti-police bullshit. If you are a fucked up police, and if you protect these people, and that's another thing, this whole fraternity that they have within their blue shield, if you protect these people that's killing these people, I don't care what color they are, you're just as bad. So I don't care if you shot the gun or not. If you're not standing up against your colleagues, you're just as bad. You're just as guilty as the criminal. So rest in peace to Stephon Clark, and I hope you really, really do get some justice. So on to Pop Tart World. I know that was a little heavy, but on to some more positive news. Jay-Z and Diddy are creating a new app that will help locate Black-owned businesses. They really want to expand wealth in the Black business, people who have Black businesses. So I'm really excited about that. I have no idea what it's going to be called. I do not know when it's going to launch, but it just makes me excited because, Jay-Z and Diddy not necessarily are enemies, but as far as money-wise, they're always competing on the Forbes list to be number one. So I think it's really cool for them to come together, put their money and resources together to come up with something cool.
I'm actually really, really, really excited about this, only because I hunt. I hunt for Black businesses.
Exactly, and it shouldn't be that hard, right?
It should not be as hard. I am on Instagram. I'm like, if I see enough Black people, I'll DM like, hey, is this Black owned? Like, if I see enough Black people in the feed, I'm like, okay, is this Black owned business? I think 16th, don't quote me, but I think 16th on Park is a Black owned.
I think so too. That's what they were saying. Yeah. But I hope it is. I know T-Volve is.
T-Volve is definitely
Black owned, definitely Black owned. And there's another one that's not, I think it's off of St. Paul.
The Big Bean Theory is Black owned.
Yeah. So, we have, in Baltimore, I know we have a couple, but I think it'll be good nationwide, especially when you visit out of town. Mm-hmm. Like one of my friends from New York, shout out to Angry Chad. And he came, and he's angry. Like, he's always angry. That's why his name is Angry Chad. And he's like, yo, any Black businesses here I can eat at? I'm like, what? And I had to really sit and think and Google. And I'm like, wait, actually, let me check to see, like, who's actually Black owned. So I think it would be easier to find a little app, tell them my location, and then a list of things will populate. So people don't have to damn near be on the internet for an hour trying to, figure it out.
That's me every weekend. I'm like, all right, I want something good, but I'm like hunting for like Black-owned businesses that looks good. I went to a place that was directly across the street from my house, Mrs. Carter's Kitchen, if anybody is interested. They have some bomb fried chicken. And I had fried cabbage for the first time. I don't even know what that is, but I had it and it was delicious. So I'm like really excited about that place. So I call in my order every now and then, sneak in and get it for real.
I gotta try that place out. I've never heard of it. See, once again. But I
get
know about
chicken
1,000
and waffles.
I should have that today. But yes, it's definitely going to be good for out of town people because when you go other places like New York and LA, I feel like they really have diverse business owners. But then when you come into like Baltimore and even Philly or even Chicago and stuff like that, like when you go to these places or even Miami, automatically you're like, okay, I want to visit here. Okay, well, where can I shop Black owned? Whether it's a bathing suit, whether it's hair products, whether it's something good to eat or a good bar. So I think that would be really dope. So shout out to them for that. So the most hilarious thing that I saw today, which I didn't think was real, Wendy's has a diss mixtape out, and it's called We Beefin'. The most hilarious shit I have ever come across in my entire life. Literally the best marketing strategy I've ever come across my entire life. And the hilarious thing about it, me and Jordan listened to the whole thing this morning. It's only 11 minutes. Okay. But the shit is fire though. Like that's the problem. Like the beats, like in Wendy, I thought it was gonna be almost like a nursery rhyme. Because when I think of Wendy with the little freckles and the red hair, I was expecting something whiny. Like she sounds like your local like rapper. Like she sounds dope.
So it's Wendy rapping.
It's Wendy rapping.
She meant Wendy Williams too. When I read this, I was like, Wendy Williams has a what is
no,
like?
No one listens to
what is she
it's
sponsored?
The character Wendy, right?
Yeah, from the fashion restaurant.
Rapping.
She's rapping.
Oh wow. Okay.
But Wendy's That's Black, dope. Essentially, in this mixtape.
Really?
She sounds like a Black woman.
Well, they need to put her up on the...
She doesn't sound like an Iggy Azalea type of situation, but it was actually pretty good. And the beats was dope. One of my favorite songs is 4 on 4. $4 on 4. But it's like, ain't no grease.
Wait, that 4 for 4.
Yeah, it was like 4 for 4. Yeah,
that's cute.
But the songs are like 1:50 long, and it goes in on like Shake Shack, Burger King, McDonald's, like all the leading fast food restaurants. They just go in.
Get that work.
But I thought that was it's absolutely hilarious. It is on all streaming sites, so I would definitely recommend it if you want a good laugh to listen to We Beefin' from Wendy's, the fast food restaurant, not Wendy Williams, because no one wants to hear that at all. So Michael B. Jordan will be producing a World War II drama about Black liberators. This man, I can marry him. It is going to be about an African-American combat unit who, by federal law at the time, were not permitted to serve alongside white troops. Their efforts in the war ultimately led to President Harry S. Truman desegregating the armed forces. And I'm really excited about this because a lot of times, like, we just don't know about our history. We don't know that this actually happened. So this is actually based off of true story. Okay. So I'm really excited about this. I have no idea when this is coming out, but shout out to Michael B. Jordan. I know he was just on HBO for the Fahrenheit 451 movie. I just saw his Instagram because I stalk him like every day. And it was just like a book opening up and it's caught on fire. So I was like, oh, okay. And also, I will see on HBO Demand.
I'm here for this Michael B. Jordan move. I celebrate all the things that he's doing.
I celebrate literally every part of his existence because that man is just, yes. So that makes me just really, really excited. So shout out to him for doing something really different because I didn't really think he would go in that direction. It's just weird to see Black men like in their acting career because I think everyone wants to follow the Denzel trend and like ever since he was a kid, which is a good trend, but you know a lot of people really can't do it, you know, and so it's really exciting to see him on his acting journey. As long as he takes his shirt off, I'm really, really happy. Wow. So speaking of the gun violence that we were just talking about, the March for Our Lives movement just happened yesterday in Washington, D.C. I was really excited about that and really moved because all of these children who were victims and survivors of the Parkland shooting, unfortunately, that killed 17 people, and thousands of people come together. All of D.C. were just lit with all these different ethnicities, women, men, boys, girls. Like, I loved each and every part of it. Martin Luther King's granddaughter actually spoke, and she was talking about she wants to end gun violence, period. Like, just no one should have guns.
I agree, actually, with that.
Yeah.
Because I get this heat a lot about, like, you know, regular people having guns. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think people should have guns.
I think people should have the right to protect themselves. I think the type of weapons that they have are ridiculous. There's no reason why you have the same weapon as someone who's in Afghanistan. There's no reason for you to have an automatic weapon.
What is the reason for you to have I'm just saying, like, you're putting, if we remove the issue, if we remove the problem, then I'm sure there will be other situations, but it kind of puts everybody in the same kind of situation. So you can't shoot me with something and I can't shoot you with something. Let the people who are trained, you know, skillfully to have these guns have the guns. I don't think civilians should have them.
If we lived in a world where people would respect people's property and space, I would agree with that. But there has been situations where people have been beaten to death and that was how they were able to save their lives. Or someone who tried to bring harm into their home and that was a way to protect themselves. If you have a legit reason, if you're really protecting yourself from being murdered or raped or anything like that, I'm sorry if that's your resort, especially if you're in your home. Yeah. Like, that is my place of peace, especially when you have children to protect. Like, it is a whole different ballgame. But I do not believe in automatic weapons. I do not think you should have AK-47s. I don't think you should have sawed-off shotguns. But I do think that you need to be screened for mental health. And I do think that you need actual training in order for you to have your gun.
They also need to, like, stalk your social media because I feel like a lot of people, there's all these patterns of, like, you know, aggression and stuff like that through people's social media.
Let me tell you,
if they caught that guy,
as much as we're being watched, I don't understand why the government is not really involved.
I feel like if you register to have a gun, you should. If you can hear me
say that I like Target and then Target is showing up on my Facebook feed, I don't understand why there shouldn't be like a special alert to certain people to say this person needs to be on the watch list because this person is looking up how to make a bomb at home, or this person is looking at these these really crazy guns and, you know, really into like violence and stuff like that. Like it should be some type of alert or something, because everyone is getting into cybersecurity. So I don't understand if something's not being triggered to some type of machine to let people know like this person needs to be watched because they are essentially trying to be a fucking terrorist.
If your YouTube feed has nothing but like rifles, machine guns, and stuff like that straight through, you should not be owning a gun. Like, you should not have a gun.
If you're Googling how can I dispose of a body, if you're talking about things that are just not of the norm, it should be alerted to these people that's watching us, because they watching us, they listening to us.
The labor that it takes to do this job is too much. The solution is, hey, let's take these guns out and let's give them these kind of guns that like don't kill people, but they like, you know, this
like
is
rubber bullets.
Rubber bullets.
Because they hurt.
Rubber bullets is cool.
Bullets are not.
If you shoot somebody in the head with it, or you shoot somebody wherever, like they'll be, you know, fine. They'll hurt like hell, but like it'll be a different kind of, it'll change like the narrative. We won't be having kids shooting themselves and killing themselves. Like, we won't have kids going to school like lighting it up. Like, I just feel like, you know, I feel like we shouldn't, you know, I feel like as a society, I don't think we're ready to be wielding these kind of, you know, weapons.
Especially like high artillery stuff. Yeah. I think that is completely unnecessary.
Even
if you want to hunt, you know, even if you're like, okay, I shoot for gaming purposes, you don't need an automatic weapon to shoot deer. Like, I'm telling you now.
There should be a place
like you're gonna shoot all the deer up, so you're gonna be greedy and not let no one else get any game. Like, you're just gonna shoot everybody up.
If you go for gaming purposes, if you shoot for gaming purposes, there should be a facility that holds your gun. You go there when it's gaming season.
Right.
You get your gun, go shoot it out, and bring it right back.
Right. Like, you sign out for it. There needs to be some type of like check-in for it. I think that would actually be a dope idea. But I think the best thing about this is that it's not just adults protesting. These are kids. These are 9-year-olds. These are 10-year-olds. These are 12-year-olds that are saying, I am fed the fuck up. My friends died. These are people who suffered, you know, an insidious act and a sadistic act, and it could have been prevented, you know? And so I'm really, really proud of these kids. I watched the video and I literally cried because, you know, and some people are saying, oh, they need to stay in a child's place. No, they shouldn't. Because when you get tired of something, you gonna do whatever it takes. And obviously, the parents haven't been doing nothing. These adults haven't been really making a change. So why not the kids? You know, this is great. I love to see children in politics, because I think for the first time ever, we're starting to see our youth come together and really getting their hands into politics and understand these policies are trash, you know, and not waiting till they're 30, 40, 50 to keep complaining like, you know what? No, we're going to end this now. So whatever it takes, we're going to do it now. So I'm proud of these kids.
We had this conversation before, and I said that like the people of like this new generation are very much involved in like what's going on around them. They care about like, you know, they care about policy. They're the ones that's starting all this, you know, rage on like Twitter. You know, they're the ones that are bringing so much awareness to these kind of these heinous things. So I think that, you know, that's one thing to look forward to like in the future, that like we're going to be a more political, you know.
But we need to be, because I think we've been asleep for so long.
Yeah.
And I know the common thing that people say they're woke, which I really,
I hate it.
I think a lot of people need to take more naps. But the one thing that I do enjoy is having children being involved, because I think that comes from a more genuine place. And it's not about political power. It's nothing to do with how am I going to get ahead, or whose hand or who back I have to scratch in order to get my agenda pushed. It's coming from, I'm tired of this. I want us to come together. I want us to love one another. Like, I'm tired of people getting killed. It's just very simple.
It's that simple, right or wrong.
It's so simple.
We apply so much levels to it in our conversation now as adults, thinking about, you know, certain risks that it takes. You know, we apply too much, you know, too many levels, when a child in his mind is just like, you shouldn't shoot nobody. I don't want nobody to get shot. You know, that's the simplest way.
That's the beauty of youth. Because those are the ones that are going to be completely honest with you. You know, they always say the two most honest people in the world are a drunk soul and a child. You know, they are always going to be able to tell the truth. So I'm so excited for these kids and being brave enough to speak on these podiums in front of all these people and telling Donald Trump and telling these politicians, this needs to change. I want to personally shout out 11-year-old Naomi Wilder. She actually spoke about the walkout, and she gave an extra minute for her walkout because she talked about the African American girls who were murdered due to gun violence. And she stated how these stories actually don't make front page. These stories are not in the evening news. And she said that with just such poise and such authority at 11 years old. So it makes me extremely proud of each and one of the kids who stepped up and talked and who's ready to make some political change. So shout out to them. So on for our Black Magic this week. This is like my 7th time talking about Black Panther, and like I said, if you don't like it, I do not care nothing about your life. So let me tell you something. Black Panther has officially become the highest grossing superhero movie of all. Let me say that one more time. ALL, all time in the US. The excitement, the ecstatic that
I'm actually really happy about that, though.
I just feel like I just want to like go to Marvel and just like high five like everyone. I don't need too much. I don't need no signatures. I just need like a good high five and just tell them good job. It just makes sense, you know. And out of all these superhero movies, I'm just really, I know the white people are like really scared who are because they're gonna like, oh shit, we got to put more people of color as superheroes. But this is absolutely amazing. It just shows when people come together and you have something positive. We do not have to play the maid. We do not have to play the slave. We do not have to play anything that is a supporting role of someone else. We can be the forefront and we can change cinema. So I think Black Panther is going to open so many doors for other Black directors, Black actors. It doesn't even have to be Black. You can be Indian. You can be Native American. You can be Mexican. It's just, we're showing that color does matter. Diversity does matter. And not only does it matter, it's showing up in the box office. So I'm extremely proud. And Ryan Coogler, like, I'm so proud of you. Like, I know this means so much to you. So shout out to them for doing that and just really changing the narrative, because now I guarantee you 2019 we're going to see a really big shift in cinema. I promise you that. And you're going to see a really big shift in shows. It's already happening, but I feel like it's really going to take off 2019, mark my words.
I think that one thing I want to say I'm really, really, really proud of us, you know what I mean? It just shows what we can do in numbers and what we can do in the box office, but I'm super proud of women, you know?
Absolutely.
I'm super proud of women. I think women are like really doing it this year. And I think not only will it change cinema, it's going to change, like, I feel like women are about to, like, you know, bust down everything. It's about to be women CEOs all over the place. I feel like there's going to be a lot of, like, you know, production teams, fully staffed, women, you know, making strides and making moves. Actually, I'm super proud of what like women has done.
Yeah, a lot of them are getting into politics now, especially women of color.
Yeah.
And I think it's very important for us to branch off into these quote unquote masculine roles and just showing them that we're not just emotional beings that give you life. You know, we do have a brain. We can handle business. We can juggle it all, because we do it all. Not knocking men, of course, but you are like one-dimensional creatures, unfortunately. But shade on shade.
I just gave you a big shout out.
But like you said, I do think it's going to be a major shift for women, and especially women of color, because I think, you know, even with Ava DuVernay and just a whole bunch of different writers that we don't hear about, these doors are opening because they're able to pave a way for us, just like our ancestors did. So I think it's really important for us to celebrate these people, and the more exposure they get, the more other people are inspired, because they'll look up to that person and say, I want to be just like them, just like we did, you know. But now, when I was younger, I didn't have a Black Barbie doll. You know, I didn't see, you know, anything of color growing up. All we had was like Cabbage Patch, Raggedy Ann, and then like some random white people that I can't even tell you. Barbie. But now Barbie has branched off. You can get the women from Hidden Figures. You can get Beyonce. You can get Ava DuVernay. You can get all these different girls.
They just made Zendaya, right?
Yeah.
Zendaya is a Barbie now.
Yeah, so it's like now these girls can say, look, I want to be just like them and be proud of who they are, be proud of their culture. So it's just really inspirational. I really, really do enjoy that. So our other Black Magic for the week, this actually threw me completely off. So Brian Allen, his entertainment studio has acquired the Weather Channel. Who would ever even think of wanting the Weather Channel? One, they always wrong. My my iPhone is never right. But I think that was a really interesting move to create. He actually acquired the company for $300 million, which I think is super cheap. I mean, for rich people, not for me, because I'm like, that's completely out of my budget. But I thought the Weather Channel would cost so much more because they're like a popular thing that people see on cable TV. So I was confused.
I wonder how they get revenue from the Weather Channel.
I don't. Is it commercials? Ads? Yeah, I'm assuming like ads.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I think it's views, like viewers. It's
a combination, yeah. Like how many views are tuned in, and then based off of the marketing, they can pay you a certain amount because of how many people are actually tuned into your channel. Because my mother just watched the Weather Channel. It's just on.
My grandmother leaves it on.
Yeah, just leaves it on. I'm like, I don't care about what's happening in New Mexico. How does that affect me? What's going on for today?
I think she just want to scare herself all the time. She just want to live in fear for some strange reason.
Like my mother was like, well, you know, in Houston they gonna flood. Well, what's the temperature for today? Oh, I don't know. They didn't get to that yet. I'm like, what is this on with? Let me just ask Sierra. You wasting my time, lady. But shout out to him because I would never have even thought of making that move. Alan actually started as a comedian. He turned into an entrepreneur. And this is not his first radio show. So he actually became the largest independent producer for a syndicated program. In 2009, he launched 6 TV networks. It was for pets, comedy, recipe, cars, and destination TV. So this is not his first time doing this, but shout out to him. Like it baffles me that you would want the Weather Channel.
Listen, why not?
But why not? And it's funny because $300 million, I'm thinking it would be like a $2 billion company. Because who doesn't watch the Weather Channel? That's true. You know what I mean? So for him to get that for such a cheap price, I'm like, shout out to him. So that's amazing. It's funny to me because.
Yeah, he kind of snuck up on me because I remember watching him on like PBS or something.
Yeah.
The interview. And then, maybe a few years ago, I heard that he was like really, really wealthy. And I was like, wait, like, I don't get it. But, shout out to him. The grind doesn't stop,
No.
But it just was like, whoa, like, he's not like Diddy or anything like that.
Right.
He's like kind of under the radar to me, but
that's the best way to be.
It is.
You don't have people digging in your
like
trash.
You pop up and like, hey, I can drop $300 million and.
Yeah,
real quietly
awesome.
too.
Yeah, real quietly. Just
I don't need a press release. I'm just going to go and have this private meeting.
That's what I aspire to be. I want to like fly under the radar where I can walk in Target and people don't harass me.
Definitely.
Like that's the goal. But I'm rich, But like shout
Hopefully
out to
when
him.
I'm rich, I won't shop at Target.
I feel like everyone still shops at Target. Like I feel like that's just a staple in everyone's life.
Where do you get your essentials then?
Don't say Walmart.
I don't go to Walmart either.
You should. What is
essentials?
Supermarket.
I go to Harris Teeter.
So
that's
Harris.
my spot.
I've never shopped for soap at a grocery store. It is so expensive.
I get soap from like black, like I get black soap, so I go to like Lexington Market and get like some shea butter black soap.
But guess what? Shea Moisture is at Target, and they are actually expanding a lot of black owned businesses in Target now. So you should check them out. But I can't live my life without Target. I can't live my life without Target.
It's another multinational corporation.
First of all, I do like that. I like the way Target is set up. Like I can go in there and I don't feel bombarded by like
foolishness
stuff.
Like
you know what I mean?
Walmart.
So I just don't really care for Target that much. I think that everything is a little bit too pricey.
But see, I'm a sucker for customer service and peace.
Yeah.
That's why I don't go into Walmart.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like going to the grocery store. The lines, even if they're long, there's like 13 people working at the cashier register, so I only wait 2 minutes. Mm-hmm. I enjoy everyone. They're pleasant. They know where stuff is when I ask.
I get things in small doses, so I don't need to go shop in mass. So I never need to go to Walmart for anything.
Walmart is horrible.
I go to the grocery store very small, like, you know what I mean? I get a few things, get the hell out of there. I don't really like... I don't like grocery shopping because I have like shopper's anxiety. So when I have like a huge selection of like,
too many choices.
I know
you can't
there's
figure it out.
ketchup that's like buy 2 for $1 ketchup. I don't need 2 ketchups. I just need 1 bottle of ketchup. I don't want to have to like. I'm sitting in there like
debating.
You know, I had an argument with a lady inside of Giant one time about like the ad. Like she was like, use the circulator. I'm like, why do I need to use the circulator? I have a small list of things that I need to get. And she's like, no, some of that stuff is on sale. I was like, I really don't care about the sale.
Yeah, just I'm signing up for the points so you can get cheaper gas. That's what I do.
I wish I could be that way. I can't. I have to go to the grocery store like at least twice a week because my family.
Oh, that's too much. Oh, well, that's different.
Like,
well, that's different. It's just us.
Yeah.
It's just
we feed for one.
But I definitely get overload. Yeah. Like I'm standing there like, so which shredded cheese should I get? Like,
why are there so many different choices?
It's too much.
Y'all extra. I'm like really like decisive.
I'm always worried about like what I'm putting into my body. So
Me too.
I'm like, damn, I don't know if I need right next to the regular butter, it's like this organic, 0 low fat organic butter that costs $2 more. I'm like, $2.
I'm always putting it back. Like, no. Getting it, no, putting it back. Like, okay, should I pay the extra 50 cents? Should I not? It's like,
y'all would get on my nerves.
I went to Sam's Club.
I get on my own nerves. Like, oh my God, I'm tired of being in here.
I went to Sam's Club and I'm like, damn, I'm going to Sam's Club with a budget, which is $100.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
like
right.
4 things.
Yeah, it's literally.
So once I buy 2 rotisserie chickens because they're great. So once I get 2 of the rotisserie chickens, everything is like, it's like I just left. Like everything went blank and I just left and I got like a cart that's like $250 and I hate putting stuff back. So I'm like, shit. I just buy. You know what I mean? I'm at the cash register and the lady is like, I'm like, damn. I was like, my budget is $100. She was like. She just give me a look like you about to spend way more than what you said.
Yeah, I don't know why you want the Sam's Club with $100.
Yeah.
That was pointless.
Listen, because like I'm only like it's only 2 people that live in my house, so if I'm buying in bulk, that should last us. So, but I overbuy.
I do that too, and I'm starting to try to like learn how to scale back because I'm trying to learn how to be a weekly shopper. Mm-hmm. But I always like, you know what, I'm gonna need this for the whole 2 weeks, and guess what? By the time the 2 weeks is up, that stuff is rotten, melted.
Yeah. I get frozen stuff. I get frozen fresh vegetables and fruit now because I need the longevity because sometimes I don't eat at home. So I'll like eat out and stuff like that, but I want my food to
something to last.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. So y'all get around there. I'm never gonna shop with y'all. There's no FYI.
Well, I've gotten better because now I make a list.
Yeah, I do too.
Of my meals.
It's very important. Have a list.
Have a list.
In life, and not just with groceries, but just like make a goal list. Make a grocery list, make a workout list. I think it's just so much better when you just plan stuff out and you can just check it off. And I think you feel more accomplished because like, oh yeah, I stayed. Because in Target, I have to make a list because at that place, I can walk in just wanting some cat food for my baby.
Are you paying with your credit card?
Essentially,
That's why she shop at Target, guys. She's paying that off later.
Sometimes I literally walked in and walked out, and I think that's the biggest accomplishment walking into Target because normally I'll get sucked in because I'm like, oh, this is cute.
I've never walked in Target and not bought a case of Smart Water because they always have it for like.
I recently just got to a place where I haven't brought unnecessary items. So I'm very proud of myself.
That's good.
Yeah, I really feel like I went through a 12-step program to get to that place.
I buy unnecessary stuff all the time. I can't even tell you how many things I just have. I have on my person that doesn't make sense.
Just because, yeah. It's a just because item. So over our panel discussion for this week, for the month of March that we are celebrating female entrepreneurship for Women's Month. So I want to introduce Miss Elana.
Hi,
thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. So she actually has her own company called Funkiedo.
Yes.
Funkiedo.
Where did you come up with that name?
Yes.
Inspiration. Okay. I don't know. It was probably about I was just leaving college and I had these big dreams of like, oh, I'm going to start this international business, and I just felt like my goal was to do natural, but to keep it funky because I'm funky. I'm fun. I'm eclectic. I love fashion. I love beauty, but I still am a granola crunchy girl too. Like I love nature. I like granola crunchy. I use that. I like my oils. Definitely, yeah. So I'm definitely like, I don't know, a Hotepian, if you will, but I also love my Vogue. I also love my high fashion. So Funkiedo was like bringing those two seemingly separate worlds together.
So what made you actually like start your own natural business?
I always wanted to be an entrepreneur, and I got tired of people telling me what to do. I did. I got tired of, so when I graduated college, I went into teaching, and I thought I was going to love it. I thought I was going to change the world. And I did love it, but I got tired of the bureaucracy. I got tired of seeing things that were ineffective, and I just felt like I can do so much more. And I was just like, F it, I quit. And I went off and started Funkiedo.
Yeah, so that's what you do full time now?
No, now I'm back to work.
I just want you to know, you have two of the most important jobs in the world. You're making products for Black hair, or all hair, all different kinds of hair, but you also shaping minds. That's like two, like you're like you're like a powerhouse, like into one person. So I want to thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
Yeah, you have a different type of patience. I hate all those kids.
Yeah, I mean, I battle with it. I do, but
you still have middle school, right?
I do, and middle school is a rough age.
Hell yes,
it's just like
that's when you beat them up.
Yeah,
you need to be passing samples out to their parents. Like, look at that hair. Let me get you this
with them nappy edges.
Let's bring some life to these edges.
Well, you know what they do ask me, Miss Jenkins, what you do on your hair? Or I'll see them come in with styles that reflect mine. But originally, that was my goal. I went natural because I was like, all right, so I'm out here telling girls how beautiful they are, or telling little Black boys how important they are, but they actually need a reflection to see. What that actually looks like. So I was like, all right, let me do this. So at least they'll have an example. Yeah. So that's kind of where that comes in with my teaching with the kids, because I just feel like I have to be an example. Yeah. Because
you ever had to be like a hairdresser? Like, you ever had to like pull one of the kids to say, like, let me use some of this Funkiedo real quick?
Yes.
You looking the
Yes,
best.
definitely. They'll come to school like, Miss Jenkins, and I'm like, come on into my classroom.
Yes.
Or I'll see them walking around, and I'll be like, come here, let me help you out. And, they're thankful. I've done it so I've worked with kids from preschool to high school. I really have focused on working with kids from disadvantaged backgrounds. So maybe they've been in foster care or transitional housing. Maybe their parents were recovering drug addicts.
Wow.
Maybe they got kicked out of school, were in juvenile, and now they're coming back. So yeah, a lot of times I would just grab them up and kind of mentor them or want to develop a relationship with them. And hair and, self-care is always kind of a way in, because it kind of breaks that barrier down. Mm-hmm.
So what do you teach? Like, what subject?
Social studies.
Lord.
That's one of my favorite studies in school when I was there a long time ago.
Yeah, it's history. I love it. Sometimes the kids, you have to make it relevant to them and really make it interesting. Because it can be one of those topics like, Mrs. Jenkins, I don't care about the treaty happening and such and such and such and such. But when you do things and make it relevant to them, like talk about the marches that are going on and show them, hey, look at this little 11-year-old girl. She's in front of millions of people, in person and on social media or on television. And she's so composed, and you can do it. So there's no reason why you can't get up in front of your assembly of peers and talk. So you just make it really relevant to them, because I think social studies is really about life. And what you're navigating and being able to understand what you're seeing.
So what products do you have? for your company?
So I have a hair milk, which is a stimulating hair milk that you would use daily. It moisturizes. It also stimulates your hair growth. It helps with controlling dandruff. It helps with styling. I have a stimulating hair growth oil as well. Both use essential oils and all natural ingredients. I also have body balms. So these are like concentrated balms that you can use everywhere. So from your hair all the way down to your feet. I kind of like using essential oils that normally you may not see mass market. So I do like things like vetiver, frankincense, sandalwood, bergamot.
Yes.
So essential oils that you may not be familiar with, but are very powerful. And then you know, when you walk into a room, they're like, what you got on? And you're like, Funkiedo. What's that Funkiedo? You know? So yeah, those are the products that I have. And then because I'm small, I do a lot of like short release things. So I might do a body scrub for a season, or I may have specialty like bath teas and things like that.
Ooh.
But my standard things are the balms and then the hair milk and the hair oil.
Okay.
So for the hair milks, is that something you put on like before your hair is wet, like, or after, like after it's dried, after it's styled?
It depends on what you're using it for. I make my products so they can be used in several different ways. So if you're going to use it before you style, you can do it wet or you can do it dry. Just like there are certain styles I know for me that I prefer to style my hair dry and then add the moisture in it because it develops a different kind of texture. Or you can use it before you style when your hair is wet. So kind of like a leave-in. So I use it that way as well. So it just depends on what you're using it for. I have some customers who only use it for regrowth. So they may have experienced some breakage or some damage. And they're like, girl, your stuff is a little too expensive for me to be using every day. So they might do it for spot treatments because it helps your hair grow back. So it really depends on what you're looking to use it for.
Have you all thought about going into shampoos and conditioners?
I have, but that's a little bit more expensive, especially because I only use organic products.
Oh, okay.
So it's a trial and error type thing. And I'm just not there quite yet to want to invest the time and energy into making it. And then I also like bigging up other small businesses. And I feel like there are so many natural hair care, specifically geared towards Black women that have wonderful shampoos and conditioners.
Like who?
So I like certain Shea Moisture ones. There's also this line called Elodia. She's from this area. I really love her products. I love another one called Curl Mix. They're out of Chicago.
Oh yeah, I've seen Curl Mix.
Yeah, they're really good. So I like their products as well. So I feel like there's no need at this point for me to jump into that area, especially when I can support someone else who is really making great products too.
How do you market your product?
I'm really word of mouth. So I have a website. I do Instagram, but I'm really kind of grassroots. At this point, I don't really want to scale up at this point, you know, because I get that question. Because a lot of because it's like a baby, and I have a family, so I have to figure out a good work-life balance. So I like the fact that it's an avenue for me to connect genuinely one-on-one with people. So a lot of my customers come through word of mouth. They also come through my natural hair care group. So it's really, I'm like a guerrilla marketer. So I'm like, somebody might stop me like, oh, I love your hair. What do you have on? I'm like, so let me tell you about my product. So yeah, that's it.
So I have dreads. And like, would your products be something that I could use?
Definitely, because it doesn't doesn't cause buildup in your hair, right? So I have a lot of clients who do use it in dreads because it doesn't create that buildup. It leaves, and then when you do leave it in, because I use essential oils, the essential oils penetrate and then they release over time. So over time, your dreads start smelling like, oh, naturally smelling good.
And that's one of my things. Like my dreads don't stink, but
disclaimer for that.
They can smell really because they take on the room. Like if there was a smoker in here,
it
takes on the room. So that is very important.
Yeah, it is, and the essential oils then help cut that. They also help cut with help deal with bacteria that may grow in your hair. It also is good for your scalp because sometimes with locks, you can experience like thinning of hair, especially if you have long ones because they get so heavy. And so with the essential oils, it kind of helps to stimulate your scalp, stimulate the blood flow to your hair. So it helps with that and also helps strengthen it too.
Awesome.
Now for your product, because I'm like in an in-between phase. Okay. I'm like one foot with the creamy crack and then the other foot is natural. So if people who don't know what the creamy crack is, it's just a perm. So is your product for people who get relaxed hair, or is it only for people with natural hair?
No, you can use it if you have relaxed hair. Again, like I said, it's how you use it. So if you have relaxed hair, you would use it more as a leave-in conditioner before you blow it out, or you would use it like the hair oil. You can use that as a hot oil treatment. You can use it to bring shine to your hair. You can use it on your scalp to help you moisturize, and it won't weigh your hair down. So I know like a lot of customers who have relaxed hair, that's like a big thing. Like, I don't want to use oil or I don't want anything too heavy.
Right.
Because they like the nice bounce. Nobody likes the grandma press and curl anymore.
Little curls sticking to your face.
Yeah. So with the hair oil, it's very light, so you can still use it.
I just want to talk about how important it is to have a good hair team and a good hair product.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I know everybody goes crazy. Like they have that same hair person that they go to religiously, and I'm one of those people.
Me too.
So yeah, I'm very careful about what I put in my hair because it's like a baby in a sense. Like you wanna nurture it, you wanna make sure it grows, you wanna take care of it.
Definitely.
So I just think it's very important to have a good product, and Funkiedo is a great product.
Funkiedo.
Funkiedo. I said Funkito. What? Funkiedo.
You want to make it a Japanese name?
Well, it is kind of inspired a little bit like Japanese, like Shishido. I was like, oh, that's cute, you know? Yeah. So I was like, oh, I'm going to do Funkiedo.
Funkiedo.
Yeah.
Yes, because we Funkiedo.
Yeah.
I like your coils that you have today.
Thank you. It's the wash and go.
And this is from the hair milk? Or?
This is from... So I use like several different products, but the two main ones that I use are the oil and the hair milk. And then after that, I use Hairdo by Oyen Handmade. They're based out of here in Baltimore. I love that one. And then I actually got a new hair gel at a product swap that we did with my natural hair group, the Natural Hair Influencer Group, or Naturally Influential, that's the name of it. But we did a product swap, and I mean, these ladies they're not cheap products. We don't trade cheap products. So they bring like Shea Moisture, curls, blueberry curls. Somebody brought a blow dryer with a diffuser on it at this one.
Come on.
We do hair accessories, everything. But the hair gel I use, which gave me these popping curls, because I love a good hair gel, is actually Shea Moisture, the black castor seed strengthening and repairing gel.
Come on, Shea Moisture. That's a sentence on the bottle. They got a sentence on the bottle.
Yeah. And I was excited because every Shea Moisture product doesn't work well on my hair. You got to like find that line that works well, and this works well. And so, especially with a wash and go, the gel is the key.
Yeah, shout out Shea Moisture.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about Carol's daughter? Because I know you said you didn't want to scale up. And so for those who don't know about Carol's daughter, she had a recipe from her grandmother. She was based in New York. She was doing really, really well. And she decided to expand. And then once she got into like Macy's and different other stores, her product was trash. And she was all natural, right? She started out all natural. Was. And I don't know what happened.
Well, you said it. She went commercial, and that's what you have to do when you go commercial. When she was like really, really natural and organic, and she was in the little they call them bodegas in New York, not necessarily bodegas, but down here she was kind of like in those all natural, maybe like the co-op or the real small where you go get your shea butter, your oils and stuff. She was in there and everybody loved it, right? And to go back to your point, I love Carol's daughter. She's definitely like, or the line, she's definitely at the forefront. However, I don't want to go commercial, right? I think that like Shea Moisture got a lot of flack when they kind of crossed over with their marketing. Yeah. However, I think that we do have to cross over at some point. Like if you're trying to have, right, it has to happen. So you just have to be very specific about what you want to do. It's very hard to have like all natural everything and want to be in a Target or a CVS or things like that, because those things have to have preservatives. They have to have a shelf life. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then also cost. So your corporations are going to find the best ways to cut cost, stretch.
Make sure your margin is right.
And then when you get big like that, there's a larger market out there that you have to try to satisfy. And that's what she's trying to do.
She lost so much integrity in her product.
Yeah, a lot of people who are like, diehard naturalistas, not many of them still use Carol Daughters from my experience. Now, there's still some out there, but they don't use it. However, I'm pretty sure she's going strong, so the demographic that she is going after,
I heard she doesn't own it.
They're loving it. She did get acquired, but I think she still is like in...
It's a licensing deal or something.
Oh, she still is involved in the day-to-day operations and making decisions and things like that.
I think small is really cool. I think, and it's a way you can actually try and cross over in a good way. Keep your business strictly online.
Yes,
you can control the amount of product that you give, and it does come with a shelf life. So that person who is buying knows that, hey, this is this is how it ends at this day. You know what I mean? So we have to buy it, and it's something really, really personal when you buy from a really small business that like this is someone's doing this by hand. They're making these products for you. It's something real personal about that, and I think that sells as well because I appreciate the people that are hands-on with the things that I use, because I want somebody to pay that much attention to it.
It's definitely a niche market. You got to just be very clear about what you want and where you want it to go.
And a lot of people are receptive too, like if
especially
you say,
now with the internet, you can have more access to stuff. So I think it's really important to have a niche market, because now you can control who you advertise to, you can control your productivity, and you can control like how much you want to have in your queue as far as merchandise is concerned. So I think that would definitely be great. Being in a store is kind of like almost played out.
Yeah, but you love exclusive things. You love when things are exclusive. So I appreciate when I can only buy. I have to get on this online right now because I can only buy. They're only making 100 this month, or they're only making 100 this week, and I need to get one. You know what I mean? So it's like it's one of those things where it almost forces an online activity, online presence. So
I think they're both needed, honestly, because the more niche you are, and the more your products cost, the more that your bottom line is going to be. And then when you pass it on to the consumer, I'm a consumer of both. Like, I like my handmade products too. Like, I like supporting a small business. But when it comes to like, okay, but my budget, right? I'm like, Shea Moisture got it for $7.99.
I'm on $6.95 in that Target. Right close.
Or am I gonna pay $21? And it's just kind of like it comes down. So I think there's a market for both. You just have to be clear about what you want, where you want to go on both ends as a consumer and and as a producer or a business owner.
So I know that you run workshops for men and women. So what does that actually consist of?
So it just depends. So my workshops can be about taking care of your hair. My workshops could be about how to regrow your hair. My workshops have been about I model. So I've also done modeling workshops about empowerment. Funkiedo kind of incorporates a whole umbrella under fashion and beauty, right? Yeah, so my workshops have run the gamut of different
Do you have
things.
a workshop about how you get your edges back?
You put that growth on there, that growth oil on there.
Right.
There's a lot of people's edges are non-existent.
Leave the wigs alone. That's why you gotta relax on the wigs, relax on the braids. Like sometimes you gotta come to Jesus, right, and accept your hair, let it grow. You've been
Snatching them up to
I
you.
am a reformed, fried, dyed, and laid to the side sister. Okay, I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan.
Hey,
Shout out Detroit.
I came
y'all be putting out with them hairstyles.
perming when it was the thing to glue your weave in. I was
I remember
gluing
that.
every week. I had blonde hair, I had long hair, I had short hair. So I am not like a Nazi when it comes to natural hair, right? I just think that you just need to know how to take care of your natural hair, right?
And I think those workshops are really important because a lot of people don't know how to take care of their hair.
They really don't.
They do not, especially these people with these mixed babies. They do not know what they're doing. But
Having the Kim Kardashian moment.
one of the questions I want to ask is, how does Funkiedo influence your personal style? Like, how has it influenced your personal style?
Well, I would actually say it is an outgrowth of my personal style, right? But what it does at this point now is remind me of who I am. Because, you know, I was, 22 when I first started, like, with Funkiedo, and it has just been progressed. And now I'm a mother of 5, I'm a wife, I'm a school teacher, I'm a youth development worker. I do a lot. And sometimes in all those things, you forget like who you were when you were just young, funky, and free. And so Funkiedo reminds me that go back to that. So whenever I get too stressed out, too overwhelmed, I kind of just go back to my Instagram page, go back to Funkiedo, and just like go back to my center, you know, like get back in touch with that funky, free spirit, you know, side. So yeah.
I think that hair though, I think hair is like the center. Like my hair, I feel like my hair is, you know, it's an extension of like my style. So I feel like I would dress different if I didn't have this kind of hair. So I feel like I actually really, that's why I love hair. I love talking about hair. I love, you know, even down to like the wig wearers.
Funky hair too.
Thank you so much. Even down to the wig wearers. I think that it's important for you to, you know, you should express up top exactly what you project. So I think that it's cool, and I love hearing about hair, and I love learning about new products, and I definitely want to get some of that growth oil.
Definitely.
I'm going to get your information.
Definitely. And join the group. I'll send you an
I'm gonna
invitation to join the group so you can come out. We need more guys, right?
And I'm going to strut right the fuck through that motherfucker. with these blue dreads.
Yes, you better come through. Come through.
They'll love it too. They'll love you. They'll embrace
come
it.
Through.
So we're all about that. We definitely are. We love our hair, you know. And like I said, we span the gamut from people who wear weaves, wigs, maybe short, and maybe, you know, long naturals.
That product swap thing, that's a great marketing tool too.
Yeah.
But I actually love that period because like it just makes sense. Like, you know what I mean? Something works for you. This thing is working for me. Let's try this out. You know what I mean? I've never heard of something. It's just, it's a good way to educate each other. It's a good way to communicate, like just to talk, communicate, socialize. It's just a great idea.
And save money.
Yes, Lord.
Right? Because naturals spend a ton of money on products, and then maybe 85% of them, they like sit on your shelf because you're like, okay, this doesn't work.
Right.
So if I can have the opportunity to swap out what didn't work for me and what may not have worked for you may work for me.
Right.
And then I just save myself a whole lot of time running back and forth to Target or to the beauty supply, Sally's, and saved you as well time and money. And I might find something that works.
How often do the product swap happen? Like, is that once a month, or is it like a random situation?
Well, right now it just depends on what my influencers want. So I usually ask them like, so what do y'all want to do?
Right.
Or they'll hit me up like, hey, I got a great idea, or things like that. I think the product swap is going to become something that we do much more often because a lot of people are becoming more interested in it, especially when you go natural. Because, you know, it's just like, yo, I spent like $150 and this stuff didn't work. I want to swap it with you. And we love talking about our hair. That's like one thing we do. We love talking about our hair. We love saying, girl, this didn't work. I didn't like this. And somebody else like, word? I love that. Let me get that. It's like $20 in the store, you know? So, yeah.
So the summer is coming up. Do you have any new products that you want to share with us that might be coming out?
No, I want to promote the hair milk because it's definitely great for the summertime. It's very light, it's fresh, and like I said, it's versatile because you can also use it as an all-over moisturizer. So you can spray it all over. It's great to take to the beach with you. It's great to like freshen up after work if you're going somewhere, freshen up your hair, as well as the hair oil. It's really good because we don't like heavy things, especially in the summertime, and you can also use it on your skin. So I have products that even though you may spend a little bit more for them, you're going to get your bang for them because you can use them in multiple ways.
You gotta pay for quality.
Yeah.
Grandmother always tell me you get what you pay for.
You definitely
so
do.
if you get that cheap shit and it don't work out for you too well, don't be mad. Or if it don't last long or whatever. So it's always about quality over quantity. So where can people find your products? Because we're definitely interested in getting some.
So you can find me at Funkiedo.com. That would be www.funkiedo.com.
And that's the only place. So do you have like your products and stuff on your Instagram and stuff like that? Or social media?
I have some, yeah. I'm not very good with social media. I really have to get better with that. I recently found someone to start managing it. Because I just had to be like, listen, this is not my thing. Yeah, because naturally I'm an introvert. So I'm like...
What? I would have never gotten that.
Yeah, I would have never gotten that from you.
I have to post today. Oh my God. Like, and I go through my Instagram like, oh, that's cute on my timeline. Like, I could do that. And then I'm like, I think that might be too much for me. You know?
Listen, you're superhuman, okay? You're a mother. You're a teacher. You're a business owner.
You're
so
a wife.
Instagram. You should be able to just swipe through and just get a break. You know what I mean?
Or you get somebody to do
for
you.
Business. You know, that's what I
you want to use social media for your business.
If you want those coins, you gotta be on Instagram.
So share your social media. Share your Instagram.
So my personal Instagram is Madam_Funkiedo. Okay. So that would be MADAME_FUNKIEDO. And I do most of like my Funkiedo promotional stuff from my personal page just because it's easier for me. And then I have the Natural Hair Influencer group where you would find us at naturally_influential. So you could keep up with my natural hair stuff there too.
Super dope. I want to thank you for joining us today. I'm actually super excited. I want to try out some products, let y'all know, because, you know, I'm halfway in. I'm not fully natural. So.
And that was okay. We're going to bring you over. Don't worry.
The thing about being natural for me is just that it's just a lot of work. And my sister, Diamond, who's been on the show, has been natural. And the things that she has a very, very long hair. So the things she has to go through just to get, you know, those type of curls that you have, I'm like, girl, no. I don't feel like it.
Already curled wig on.
It's just so much.
And what I usually like to tell people relationship is you have to find what works for you, right? Like, and it's a process.
Yeah.
It is, because you have to retrain how you look at your hair. Because like I said, for most of my life, I had a perm. And so when I went natural, I had to really change how I thought about my hair and just approaching it. Because the way that we're taught, the way that you have to treat relaxed hair is
completely different.
Opposite. It's like totally opposite of how you have to treat your natural hair. So it's like you're more comfortable with what you've always done. So it is that transitional period. But once you find it, you're like, okay, I got it. Yeah.
So that makes sense. So I'm really excited. I'm super proud of you.
I'm excited too. Thank you.
I want to try this hair milk. And for people who have no edges, please, get that growth stimulant.
That growth oil. Yeah.
That's important. Because, nobody like chewed up edges. I know I don't.
And if you just want...
Fine, but
you good?
I'm good. I'm Gucci. You see my edges right here? My edges is Gucci. Don't come for me.
And if you want to see a cool guy with blue hair, hit me up on Instagram.
No, you did not.
I want to share my Instagram. Let me do that. It's I am Alexander. That's 2 I's AM Alexander. Yeah, just hit me up.
He's so
let's
extra.
Talk.
Bitch, let's talk.
Are you extrovert?
I'm two. I'm both of them. I think I took that test and they said I was both.
Really?
But I thrive in social environments, so I need to kind of it's so fun to me. Like I love meeting new people and talking, and not just about myself because I can talk about myself all day. But I love I love getting to know people and seeing where they come from, and especially I can always find something relatable between me and a person. So that's a gift.
That's good.
And
I study
markers.
people like you. I do.
I am something. Okay.
I like people sometimes. And then, but a lot of people don't like me.
Yeah.
So
bars.
Because I just tell the truth and shame the devil.
You definitely seem like an extrovert.
Yeah, I am.
Your energy is like, it greets you. Like,
yeah.
hi.
Yeah, I try to be. But then there's some moments where I'm just like, I can't stand none of you people. Get the hell out of my face.
Yeah.
But very seldom I'm like that. But once again, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
We're going to come and invade your workshop. We're going to try this hair milk.
I'm going to one of them hair swaps, man. I'm at them hair product swaps. I don't really have a lot of products to swap because I go to a stylist who will take care of it. Unless she let me borrow one of her things. But I can go grab something real quick at the little natural store up the street. But.
Well, I am looking for a stylist to come down and do a meet and greet with my
Lock
group.
and Styles.
Okay, so give me their information so I can reach out to them, because that's one of the things that I get asked often, especially on the group, is like they're looking for stylists and they're looking for good, innovative stylists with natural hair, because we get tired of the same little 2-strand twist up, like give me something funky, creative, innovative.
My stylist, I'm just going to talk about her for a brief second. She's really dope. And like we have meetings, like when I come get my hair done, we're like, okay, so what can we do differently? How can we like fix the hair up in different. She's always down to try new things. And of course, if you don't like it, she'll like rebuild it and make sure it looks. She makes sure you're very happy when you leave. And she's definitely a natural hair stylist. And she's amazing. She's funny. She's like energetic. You'll have a good time.
What's her name?
Her name is Erica. She's
shout
my cousin.
Shout out to Erica.
She's my cousin.
Hey, Erica.
Her business is called Lock and Styles.
Yeah, shout out to Lock and Styles.
And she's like really, really dope. And I think that'll be a great idea. And it'll be something fun for us to do.
Yeah. I'm all about this. I'm all about this black magic, just working together for the greater good.
Yes.
But yes, please come again anytime. If you want to give us some samples, come. I know a lot of
with some samples.
Yes. Okay. We can do our own product swap.
I got some shea butter that I think y'all would love.
Okay.
So on to our Ask 3 for this week. So Callie said that she really likes this guy and they've been dating for 6 months. But the one downside to their relationship is the religion. He is a Christian man who goes to church every Sunday, and she is a spiritual person who doesn't believe in church, although he keeps asking her to go. She doesn't want to lose him, and she wants to know what to do.
Go ahead first, because I think she should just go to church.
Why? If you don't believe in it.
Yeah.
You shouldn't do things that you don't believe in.
You're a spiritual person, and church is just a place where people of the same, likeness for God, rejoice. So I don't think that anybody. I'm a spiritual person, and when my dad, asks me to go to church almost like every Sunday, and I usually go. I usually don't go, but when I do go, it's not. I don't get. Although he's practicing his religion, I'm just enjoy just being around other people, experiencing the same kind of feel.
Yeah, you're not out here shunning the non-believers, shun you.
I'm not like, y'all is wrong. You know what I mean?
But I also feel like if you're a spiritual person, you don't like
does she love this guy?
The bureaucracy of church. I'm not sure if she loves him or not. She says she likes him. So they've been dating for 6 months. I don't think you should be in the love category by then. But I feel like if he's just asking you because he wants you to be a part of it, that's one thing. But is that mandatory for him?
No.
Because if he's saying that in order for us to be together and flourish and have a future, you have to go to church with me. You have to be a member. You have to be a part of this. I would definitely say no.
Yeah. If it's that situation, if it's like, you have to do it or we can't, then you just can't.
Yeah, you can't.
But I think that she needs to have a conversation with him and let him know, hey, I don't, if she really don't want to go to church at all, she should say, I don't want to go to church at all. And and if he doesn't understand that, then she should definitely move on. But
I guess my question would be, would it be reciprocated? So whatever she does in terms of her spirituality, whether she meditates or whatever she does, is he willing to engage in that as well? Because
I think that's a good question.
It has to be a back and forth, because I could go to church. I'm a spiritual person. I can go to church and I can see how we are all connected in a certain way. But then are you able to step outside of your religion and your comfort zone to meet me there? Because ultimately, that is what's going to help us to grow, right? It's not going to be...
I definitely agree with that.
If you go to church every Sunday, or if I sit and meditate by the water, it's going to be, how do we connect spiritually? So if I can vibe with you and you can vibe with me, then we can grow. But if he's like,
you get another 6 months at it.
No, I don't do that. I'm against it. I'm a Christian and we don't do that. Then that's definitely.
And this is the thing for Christian people who are really into church. Let me explain to you what your Bible says. It says 2 or 3 people. When you touch and agree, the presence of the Lord is there. So 2 or 3 people is not a church. You know what I mean? That is actually just us. We can literally have church in this moment right now if we wanted to. So I think some spiritual people feel that exact same way. Like, I'm okay with us having a Bible study, but the actual politics of church, some people are uncomfortable with that. You know what I mean?
I think the practice of the religion is what drive spirituals out, like saying, hey, I don't believe in these methods of getting to God, you know what I mean? So that's absolutely fine. And I don't think church doesn't put that kind of stress on you, because ideally you're a person, and if you're strong in whatever you feel, you don't have to you don't have to go up there when the preacher says, I'm calling for somebody to get saved. You're like, I'm already saved, I know God, I don't need you touching me, you know what I mean? So I feel like hey, if, like you said, if you guys can compromise in terms of learning who both of you guys are in the spiritual sense, then you got another 6 months, Callie. But if this guy is just strictly saying, hey, like, if you don't go to church with me,
or he's trying to change you,
like what you believe in, then don't.
A lot of people do try to if they get serious with a person, they want them to conform into a religion that they were raised on, but you don't have that same.
And to be honest with you, I really feel like that's unfair.
I do too.
And it's like, if you don't truly believe in that particular religion, then you don't have to. There's so many other people out there who are more like you than you would believe. But I think people get so caught up in settling.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I have this great guy, but oh my God, if this is just the one thing, I'm just willing to do anything. I'll convert to being a Jew. I'll convert to being a Muslim person. Because I have some people in my family who were Christian people, met a guy, got digmatized, and now they're Muslims. And it's like, well, do you really believe in Allah? people lie. So she looks happy, but I don't know what her soul fulfillment is. Mm-hmm. And for Callie, I really feel like, and like you said, like, what is the compromise? It's like, okay, if I go to church with you, will you meditate with me? Or if it's yoga, or it's just sitting and praying for an hour, or if it's just reading a couple of Bible scriptures in the home, whatever that entails, you have to be willing to compromise. Yeah. So communication is going to be definitely key in this particular situation, because people are very sensitive about religion.
And Callie, there are a lot of other guys that are into the same thing that
you are into. Absolutely.
Don't put you all don't your have to in this right. one guy.
Yeah. You don't have to settle if you don't want to. But if he's willing to compromise, I'm not going to say cut him off. But if he's like, no, this is the Christian way and this is the only way,
Christians be crazy sometimes. I tell you.
Look for the
KKK is a Christian, so I mean, it's different tiers and different levels to religion. It's based off the person who's practicing them and how they're using it. So I would definitely say have a conversation with him. But if he tells you that this is it, this is the way it's going to be, cut that nigga off.
Mm-hmm. Sit by the water and meditate and think about that, Callie. Sit by the water and get some thoughts going.
So I actually hope that actually works out for you, because I know a lot of people who either end up converting because they think that that's the right thing to do, or, they get their heart broken. So it's just one of those situations where you really have to be honest about how you feel about going to church, and see if there's a compromise, see if there's a way both needs can be met so both parties can be happy. So I hope that works out for you.
And write us back and let us know what happens.
Yeah, like, please let me know, because I think that sucks, because please don't end up like my cousins in West Philly.
Come on. let her live with her Muslim, husband.
Get yourself together.
Listen.
Whatever.
What's the next family?
She got dick down and fell in love with Allah.
Sometimes it changes things.
That's going to be an uncomfortable meeting the next time you guys have a family gathering.
Oh, no, it's not, because I spoke my mind 5 years ago. I think we're okay.
Thanksgiving about to be real silent.
We made it last year, so I think this year ain't going to be no different.
Do she wear that?
She does. And I say salam alaikum to her, so I'm respectful of whatever you decide to do.
They don't ask you to do that. You do
no,
that.
But I feel like, no, but it's so many people in Philly who are Muslims, and I have so many Muslims in my family, just out of respect. I do it. I even go to the mosque with them. I cover myself up. Okay. I might not pray to Allah, but, I pray with them. One of my uncles who were murdered, unfortunately, he was Muslim. We did the funeral. We, had to dress a certain way, say certain things that were in Arabic. So I'm respectful of other people's culture. I just don't like the fact that she didn't do it from a genuine place. Okay. I'm all about people being true to themselves. Yeah. So shout out to you, Callie. I hope that really works out for you. So for our words of wisdom this week, it is learn the mistake of others. You can't live long enough to make them all yourself. And that is from Eleanor Roosevelt. Let me tell you something. From a person who made a lot of mistakes in their life, you do not have to keep touching the fire to see how hot it is. Sometimes it is so much better to just see how other people fucked up. I'm telling you right now. Because you really don't live long enough to make each and every mistake. And that one mistake might change your whole entire life in the worst way. So sometimes you just have to be smart. You have to listen. Especially, like I said this last week, to your OGs. Your grandmothers, those great aunts, someone who's older with wisdom that's trying to guide you. I know it's bullshit when they tell you and you get defensive and you don't appreciate it, but I'm telling you, when you get caught up, you can be like, damn, I should listen to grandma or mama 5 years ago, and I wouldn't have been in this mess. It never fails, right? Some people go through certain things and you don't even realize that they did that for you. Yeah. They made those mistakes and did everything and made that sacrifice for you, so you wouldn't have to. So please learn from others, because it will really increase your growth and productivity, because sometimes the mistakes you make can scale you back. You take one step and then you all the way 10 steps because you ain't made the right decision. So try your best to decipher and have some discernment, which I think is very important. Listen to your gut. Listen to that first instinct, because a lot of times you're right. So that man you shouldn't be with, cut him off. That woman that you shouldn't be with, cut her off. That job that's holding you back, stop it. That dream that you want to pursue, just do it. And, I know some things are trial and error, but some shit just can be avoided because you know better. Yeah. So shout out to Eleanor Roosevelt. She was a politician, a diplomat, and an activist. She was actually the longest-serving First Lady in the U.S. and also served as a U.S. delegate for the U.S. General Assembly. So this has been amazing. I'm so excited.
Thank you for those words of wisdom. Yeah.
Yes, it needs to be had because I know there's a couple of people out there that need this. I ain't gonna say their name, but you fucking up too much. You're fucking up way too much, and you messing up your portfolio. Get your resume together. Learn from these mistakes that you've been making, or just look. Literally, you can just look at people in your life.
Yeah.
You know, you see the people who suffer from drugs. Don't do them. You see the people who are alcoholics. Don't drink. You know, you have to be able to see there's things and people in your life that are the best examples. Yeah. And you just say, you know what? I don't have to do that because I seen the outcome of that and it does not make sense for me. So you don't have to put your hand on the stove every time because eventually you're not going to have no hand.
Yeah.
Okay. Ain't no coming back from that.
Ain't no coming back from that. So I want to thank you so much for coming, Elana. Please check her Funkiedo line.
Please.
Get them edges together.
Get that growth oil. Get it.
Thank you so much. And this is Bitch Let's Talk. If you can't get enough of Bitch Let's Talk, you can always follow us on IG and Facebook at BLT Podcast and on Twitter at Bitch Let's Talk. If you want more content and updates on the show, you can always go to our website, bltpodcast.com.